We made it! The season finale of Peacemaker Season 2 has dropped on HBO Max, and it's an hour fucking long, so there's lots to talk about, so let's talk about it with spoilers. That is, of course, your spoiler warning. If you have not yet watched this entire season and you're planning on it, then seriously do not watch this video, because I will be talking about what happens in this finale in detail. If you have watched it or you don't care, then, well, stick around. You're good. So this finale goes back to that tradition of starting off with a flashback. It goes to about a month ago with Chris and Amelia out on what looks like a date, and well, they get along pretty well and they go on a boat. So we see what happens, and it was really just a kiss, but even that I guess was enough to spook Amelia out of it. Womp womp. So last week in the penultimate episode, we left off where Chris Smith turned himself into Argus because he was all super depressed and shit, and he still is. We'll get to that. But we see that Argus, the team, they're exploring the pocket dimension now. All of Peacemaker's doors to other dimensions. And Otis is there. We remember him from Superman. The guy who was kind of an homage to the character from the original Superman movie, the Otis character. Yeah, he's here now. And it's funny, that first dimension they discover, I was like, wow, okay, we're in Oz now, I guess. It's like Candyland, but it's got a yellow brick road. Hey, wicked hype, I'm here for it. But a bunch of these little shitty gremlins come out of nowhere and they chew through that guy's face. I was like, oh shit, that sucks to suck, dude. And so the team continues to look through all the other dimensions. We see the pretty hardcore one that we saw in the trailer. It looks like it came from the mind of Zack Snyder. That's cool. And it's because they're looking for something in particular. More on that later. We see that Chris is still in prison. He believes himself to be some sort of angel of death or something. He believes he's cursed. I did find that interesting. But Ads and Vigilante, they bail him out. And even then he's like, alright, I'm just gonna leave town then. And he's bringing Eagly with him. Dude is going through it. So we see what Rick Flag Sr.'s goal supposedly is. When they discover this dimension that's like a big grassy field and it looks really nice and peaceful. So Flag proposes this to the government. He calls the place Salvation. It's essentially going to be what Lex Luthor's pocket dimension was in Superman. It's going to be like a hidden prison for metahumans who are perceived as threats. Which I will be honest, that's actually not a bad idea. Of course, Flag is using it for the wrong reason, but I mean, just in concept, it's not a bad idea. It's like the Phantom Zone, kinda. But I found it interesting that during this scene, it kept cutting to Bordeaux, and we see that she is questioning the whole thing, since she herself is, in fact, a metahuman. She's a cyborg. So she's like, yeah, I'm actually not down with this. I want to switch sides now. After we discovered that she has, in fact, been sleeping with Rick Flag Sr., that was a neat discovery. So she calls up Harcourt, and she spills the beans about Rick Flag Sr.'s plan. I like the fact that Bordeaux is switching sides now, because I always thought she was a badass. I mean, she was a bitch, that's for sure. And of course, Harcourt's not gonna trust her right away. But come on, you had to have been thinking, like, how badass would that be if she was on our side? Now she's on our side, and I'm happy to have her on the team. And so we get to the scene where the crew, they talk to Chris. They're trying to convince him to come back, and he's like, no. I bring death wherever I go. I end up killing the people I love. I killed myself. Dude's depressed. We've all been there. I totally get where he's coming from. And really, there's character growth coming from everyone here. Cause they're all like, fuck Argus. We're done trying to please them. Even Harcourt said that. I thought that was awesome. They don't need Argus anymore. They can be their own badass crew. And they do successfully convince Chris that he's not terrible. He's a good dude. He loves his friends and they want him around. I love that, man.
There's a lot of love out there, you know, man.
And so he decides to come back, which is great. And it seems like we have ourselves a victory. So then it fast forwards a week later and we have ourselves kind of an epilogue. It shows that Sasha Bordeaux has officially joined our crew along with Flurry and Judo Master. I guess they said fuck Argus too for some reason. I don't know. But hey, happy to have you, I guess. We got ourselves a new headquarters. This checkmate place making the world better. That's cool. There's a Foxy Shazam concert. They sang the theme song for this season and they sing it here. And of course, it's on that same boat that was in the flashback, except now we see that Chris and Amelia, they're in the crowd again, and it looks like they are together as an item, finally. So really, it looks like things are all right. But I knew something was gonna happen. I knew somehow the axe was gonna drop. Cause I was like, things are going too perfectly right now. I don't know, it's too nicely wrapped up in a bow. Something's gotta go down, something's gotta give. And well, sure enough, Chris Smith comes home, he gets kidnapped by Argus, or more specifically, kidnapped by Rick Flag Sr., and he's thrown into Salvation. Cause Rick Flag Sr.'s like, yeah, he volunteered. There's a signature. This is for Ricky, you piece of shit. I was like, yep, there it is. That's the axe drop I was waiting for. Now Christopher Smith, Peacemaker, is trapped in this other dimension with no apparent way out. And we hear like creature noises coming from the trees. It doesn't exactly seem like the safest place. And well, there's our cliffhanger, cause that is the end of Peacemaker Season 2. So now, of course, we gotta wonder what's next. Is there gonna be a Season 3? I'm really hoping so. Our crew's gotta rescue him somehow. I also heard that James Gunn did say that this season does set up Man of Tomorrow, so I guess we'll see how that happens in a little less than 2 years. But for now, in conclusion, Peacemaker Season 2 was awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved it a lot more than Season 1, and I thought Season 1 was great. But Season 2, it fed off of what Season 1 set up. It did like the best job possible of integrating it from the dead DC EU franchise to this new DCU franchise. It did that brilliantly. But above that, just great storytelling and great characters. The humor fell flat a lot, just like Season 1. In fact, like most James Gunn projects, I'm not gonna lie, at least for me. But what can I say, the drama always lands when James Gunn's the writer. And Peacemaker Season 2 is certainly no exception to that. Great plot twists, great action, good music, the soundtrack, you know James Gunn, he loves his needle drops. There's some pretty fun music this season, great score as well. I just got nothing bad to say here, man. This is definitely gonna be one of my top 5 favorite TV seasons of 2025, because it deserves to be. It's earned its place on that list. And coming up next in the DC universe is the Lantern series. Last I heard, that's coming out early next year. So we should be getting a trailer for that fairly soon, I would think. And of course, I will be here to talk about that when it happens. But for now, Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 8, the season finale, Full Nelson. Have you watched it yet? What are your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts on this season as a whole? And what are your theories and or predictions as to where it might lead in the future of the DCU? I want to know what you think. So whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And of course, thank you for subscribing. Peace, Maker.